back at Big 12 Media Days, AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And a very familiar face, Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson, former Midway star, TCU star, joins us. Craig Smoke, David Smoke. Man, whatever you're doing in college does not surprise us in any way. We always knew that no matter where you ended up, you would be a hell of a player. You enjoying yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm loving it here. Everything is going well. You know, my family loving it, and I'm loving it. So, just ready to continue to do what I'm doing.
What's it like to be here today? Be a representative for TCU, be one of the guys selected to kind of come and represent the brand?
It's been a big deal for me. My family is very proud of me. You know, everyone that loves me is excited about what I'm doing, and I can't do nothing but thank the Lord.
You had a decision to make. You could have moved on. You decided to come back, new coaching staff, whatever. Was it the change that also wanted you, that made you want to come back and kind of experience something different?
Yes,
coaching staff, I mean?
That's another thing. You know, I wasn't satisfied with what I have done. You know, I'm never satisfied with the things that I've, you know what I'm saying, done in the past. I feel like I could always do better, you know, and this is my last season here. I want to come back and, you know, bring a championship back to TCU. It's been a minute. Win a Big 12 championship. Hopefully go 12-0 and get into the playoffs. And then we'll go from there. And then, you know, also I want to continue to build my draft stock. I want to be guaranteed going first round, not wandering around if, maybe I may not be able to go first round, be second or third day. I want to make sure that I'm going first round.
How much did you have to jostle with that last year? Kind of the feedback that you got about going pro, and then, you know, obviously you had to make a decision, but how much of a struggle was that to kind of figure out what you wanted to do?
I mean, it became a point in time where it kind of got a little frustrating, but I knew that I could always come back and talk to God, and He would guide me through the hard times and the hard decisions.
You mentioned that last year's team, there was a quote in the paper about the changes, that last year's team was divided. Can you kind of take us through all that?
Yeah, I mean, we just weren't together as one. You know, we were too separated. We were a separated team. And, you know, we're doing a lot of things together now as far as doing activities together and doing a lot of team bonding. And I know what a championship team feels like, you know, like y'all said before, being at Midway, we went to a state championship my junior year, and that team, we were really close, you know, and winning teams are close. And right now, what I'm feeling right now, it's starting to feel like it felt my junior year at Midway. So I'm really excited about what's going on right now, and I'm just ready to move forward.
So you had and part of all that went into that last year was a coaching change in the midst of a season You signed up to play for Gary Patterson, right? I mean, that was the guy that you signed with, and then there's changes, and you had the interim and all that going on. Just how difficult was that personally and also as a player to kind of have, you know, not only a coach change and things like around you change like that, but also just the relationships and everything with that?
Yeah, I mean, it becomes hard to adapt to someone new, you know. With life comes new things, and that's how I go about things. So, I mean, it was kind of hard at first, but, you know, I'm always ready to, you know, interact with new people, you know, network and build relationships with others. So whenever the new coaching staff came in, I accepted them, and, you know, I'm ready to play great for them.
How does a team get divided? How does that work? It's just over time? It's not like it happens overnight. Is it just something that just starts to wear down a little bit for some reason, relationships or whatever?
Yes, sir. I mean, I would say, you know, not doing things together, and then on top of that, you know, not always having the best seasons, you know, and then people break up in small groups, and then they start, you know, talking, and then it just continues to just go on, and no one is ever just coming together. So knowing that, you know, we just haven't had the best of seasons, you know, so that has been a big thing on why we haven't just came together, but it's a new start, so, you know, we're rebuilding.
Do you feel like people are kind of sleeping on y'all a little bit just because there's some other teams that are expected to be pretty good? There's a coaching change. Maybe you're just not top of mind right now. Do you feel like that is a positive for you guys entering this season, that you're being slept on a little bit?
Yes, sir. I mean, you know, we've always been underdogs, and, you know, I've always been underdog my whole life, and
Yeah.
I've always overcame things and been able to prove others wrong. And I feel like this team is going to do a lot of proving this year. And they know what comes with TCU, so
Yeah.
as long as they're ready and they know what we're coming with, then hopefully they're prepared.
How big is that chip, or what you've always dealt with? And you've proven yourself. You're a great player in high school. You've been an elite player in college. But you always seem like you said you have to prove yourself again and again. What's that been like?
I mean, I've been going through this my whole life. You know, I was one of the smallest guys on my football team whenever I was in Little League.
Yep.
And I was the top running back in the nation in Little League. Then, you know, coming into high school, my mother, she was like, because I'm originally from Marlin, Texas, so small town outside of Waco. And my mother was like, we want to see how good you really are. We're going to move you up to, Midway High School, where the big ball is being played at, around Central Texas. And she moved me up there, and, I, showcased my skills and made the best of it there, and then came to TCU, and I'm still doing so. So the thing is with my chip, I mean, I've just always felt like people are questioning me, like, he's undersized, he's woo-woo, but I have all these other aspects that these big, whatever they call them, don't have. Dudes can't jump 42-inch verticals. These dudes ain't running 4.3s. These dudes ain't breaking on balls as fast as me. They ain't got the mindset like me. I watched the interview over Kobe yesterday, and I'm like, dang, man, this dude, we actually, like, it's like it's my twin. Like, I think, like, once I heard him talk, I'm like, wow, like, this is exactly how I feel. So I've been doing much more research on Kobe, and I'm relating to him, and I'm just really proud of the man that I'm becoming today, and I'm finally starting to begin to open eyes up.
Is that kind of the purple Mamba mentality? I guess he was the black Mamba. You got the purple Mamba mentality there going. That kind of that same mindset.
Yes, sir. Yeah, his mindset is different. A lot of y'all know and everything else. So what Kobe had done and everything was great, and his mentality is magnificent. And like I said before, I feel like I relate to him a lot as far as my mentality and my mindset of how I approach things and how I go about things.
You mentioned being from Marlin originally. I got to say, is there anywhere per capita, just the people born in Marlin or from Marlin originally, wherever they ended up in high school, is there more talent from one place than Marlin, Texas?
Yeah.
As far as originally from there?
Man, I think if every kid was able to get outside of Marlin would probably have the most players in the NFL in history. My uncle was originally from Marlin, Texas.
Right.
You guys know Devontae Strickland. He played at Midway. Jamarcus Satterwhite's from Marlin. That's a lot of guys from Marlin, and a lot of people don't know it, but yeah. And then we also got some guys that has D1 offers out there right now that's playing in Marlin still today.
That Darian Gillette. They got a bunch of guys over there right now.
Yeah. Marlin has talent, man. It's just all about just getting out of Marlin, and that was the biggest thing my uncle wanted my mother to do, is get me out of Marlin so that I can get that exposure.
Mansfield High School, McLean Stadium. You guys are getting kind of beat up. Yeah. I just texted Jeff Hume, by the way, your former coach. I said, obviously I know some of the highlights, and I said, tell me, he said a couple things, but the strip, you peeled it out of the guy's hand like a can opener and went the distance for a touchdown that turned that game around. And
yes, sir.
Well, can you kind of, I know it's been a while, but what a play. What an unbelievable play.
Yeah.
And about the 2 or 3 5-yard line or whatever it was.
Yeah, man. That is still one of my most memorable games of all time. I love that game a lot. It showed the type of player that I truly am. I'm a playmaker, and once that play came about, we had just muffed the punt. I was like, man, I got to make a play, and they weren't throwing the ball. They were trying, like, Mansfield was a run-heavy team.
Yep.
Throughout that week and growing up, I've always watched Tyrann Matthews. LSU, he had always stripped the ball, and that was one of the things I was like, oh yeah, if they're running the ball, then that's something that I could do to get the ball back to the offense. And once I seen them coming at me, I attacked them, stripped the ball, and my second nature is going to the crib. I play offense growing up. I'm gonna get to the touchdown for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch the high school film. That's why they're trying to, TCU, they're working on getting me in and back at punt return again, and I get a feel of that again and show that type of side of my abilities.
When you make a play like that, is it a slow motion? Because it seems, boom, it's so good. Is it almost like you're so talented, so strong, fast, whatever, that it almost is in slow motion as you pull it out of his arm?
Yeah, it's crazy because all of my I think I had 8 strips that season, 8 forced fumbles that season. All of them were strips, and it's like my first thought is come hit him with everything that I got. So I strike. And then right when I strike, I just rip. And it just comes out every time. Like, I'm never, like, struggling with him, like, trying to get it. It's just like, then rip. And then, so once I hit him, the ball just, like, I just grabbed it and I just came out of it with it. Like you said, like, it was just something that, like, I didn't struggle with it at all. I guess, the impact that I came with stunned him a bit. I don't know. But, yeah, once I make contact and then I take it out, it's just easy.
It's a playoff game at McLean Stadium, for those that don't know, when Midway played Mansfield against Jeff Hume's former team, too, as well, and he took it back 90-something yards for a touchdown. Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson with us, TCU All-American candidate, cornerback with us on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Yes, sir.
Tre'Vius, how much do you think that playoff run that Midway had there your senior year helped boost your, I guess, profile for college coaches? Like, I'd imagine you were getting recruited before then, but it really felt like that run that y'all went on, all of a sudden people were like, forget the size. And we were screaming it all along, like, this dude can play, right? Yeah. But then all of a sudden here comes Baylor and TCU and whoever else came at that time as well. How much did that playoff run help, you think?
It helped me a lot. It's crazy because I realized at that point, that was like mid-season. In high school, Texas football, it's like, 16 games?
Yeah.
And, like, I knew that was mid-season for us. We're going into the playoffs, and I knew how good of a team we had. So I was like, we got a whole another season left. Me personally, how I am, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. So I looked up every guy in the nation that was a top defensive back, in America. I looked at their stats. I compared them to mine. I'm like, I'm not doing enough. And that's when I started, I took my game to another level. And, that playoff run was big for me, and I understood that I had to do that because I couldn't come back and try to do all that my senior year. That's why whenever I got a chance to get at TCU my sophomore year, once I started, I made sure that I played my, I showed some of my best, type of football early on so that I don't have to wait till my junior and senior year. And now I'm just going to continue to build on that, the things that I've done and show these scouts the things that they're thinking that I'm missing right now, whatever it is, and then just continue to elevate.
Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson with us, obviously LT, even his legacy at TCU. And it always felt like that's where you were going to end up. That was going to be eventually, if they ever offered you, that was going to had that not happened, would you have been playing at Baylor?
Yes, sir. I would have been at Baylor. Yes, sir. Baylor for sure. I liked Baylor. It was at home. But TCU has always been a place that I wanted to be.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense. It really, really does. You got him last year, man. You guys, the quarterback went nuts. Morris
yes,
went nuts against a hell of a defense too.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It felt great. It felt like a championship. It was a hard fought game. Things weren't going so well early on. I was able to come across the field and make a game-changing play as well. That ended up being an interception, and it was just a lot of adversity that we had to overcome that whole week. And I feel like that was one of the most, perfect, well-written weeks that I've ever lived. Especially having a head coach.
Yeah.
Leave like mid-season.
So you have one more year left. You've talked about the goals and all the things. Craig's mentioned the fact that you guys are being slept on a little bit. How do you embrace all this from today through until you start working out as far as practices in August? How do you embrace all of this as your final year?
I just every time I go about, I go out on practice, wherever it is in the weight room, I just think about all the little things that said, as far as rankings, as far as how they rank my team, as far as how they rank me, as far as who they think the best cornerbacks in the upcoming draft are, who they feel like it is. And then, I just think about these things while I'm practicing, and it helps me go the extra mile, and I also preach it to the players as well so that they can keep that in their mind. So, build a chip for the guys that don't really have that type of, mentality and stuff like that, so I can get those guys going and, continue to grow as a team, and then we'll show them.
Is Carlton Buckles your position coach?
Yes, sir. He's the cornerback coach.
Okay, yeah, I thought so, but I just wanted to make sure. Obviously, he was at Baylor a long time.
Baylor.
We got to know him a little bit. What's it been like, just this new staff, Coach Dykes, Coach Buckles? I mean, how's all that working for you?
Coach Buckles, man, he's a great coach. He has a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Xavier Howard, guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Howard's a great cornerback in the league right now. And, he's teaching me stuff that, my past coach didn't teach. With every new people comes new things. So, great. Coach Mott, Jeremy Marcus was a phenomenal coach. He's one of the best coaches that I've had. And I can't do nothing but thank him. Coach Buckles, he's a new person, new coach. He has new great things that he's teaching. So, I'm just continuously elevating my skills and, becoming a complete corner.
You know where Modkins is from?
Marlin, Texas.
Marlin, Texas.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's incredible. There's another tie.
That's my cousin.
Shake my hand for a second. I want to try something here. Okay, yeah, that's not – I mean, you've got a grip. I always thought – I use that term can opener, the way you could peel the ball, punch the ball, whatever. You got a grip. What did you do when you were younger that your hands are like a mechanic, like somebody works on a car?
I mean, Marlin is the country.
Yeah.
So we doing stuff, whether it's hay bales or, work, growing up, Marlin – we grew up fast. We were always outside playing around, fixing on bikes, got wrenches and pliers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Taking wheels off bikes, spray painting, fixing chains whenever they pop, jumping fences, running from dogs. It's everything. It's everything that come with being from the country. So, I mean.
I love it. God, that's
great. Did you keep up with Midway much last year? It was a tough year for them, but did you get to follow along very much?
No, I wasn't able to. I was so focused on, the season. I was trying to make sure because, it was a big decision. Was I going to go to the NFL? I was trying to make sure I was playing at my best so that I could, achieve my goals. But, I still talk to Coach Jones a lot. He played at TCU.
Sure.
He was my coach. Lenoir. He was my coach whenever I was at, Midway. So we chopped it up a bit, but. No, I didn't really keep up with Midway as much.
Yeah, it was a tough year. I mean,
last 2 years.
Last 2 years been DeSoto, Cedar Hill, Duncanville. I mean, you guys would see them in the playoffs, but it was just district. But now they're back in Central Texas, so I think that'll be good for them.
Good luck to you, man. We'll be following you. Hopefully get you on again during the season as well. We loved watching you play and still do.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
I thank y'all for having me, man.
Tre'Vius Hodges-Tomlinson, TCU All-American cornerback candidate, Sikkim 365 Radio, 365 Sports.